Good afternoon or good evening, and welcome to our chartering ceremony and initiation for the Kappa Delta Pi Honor Society and Education. We're both initiating members and chartering a society here on campus. We've been working at that for quite a while, and we're quite pleased to be able to do that. I'm Roy Hurst. I'm the Associate Dean of the School of Education, or College of Education now. You can tell how long I've been here. And I would like to welcome everyone. We hope this will be both a meaningful ceremony and something to remember. And so without further ado, we will proceed.
Hi there. This came together really rapidly for you guys because we wanted to make sure that those who were graduating didn't have to wait until December to get their cords. So we welcome all of you. We're very grateful that you could all come, and for the guests who are here. We want to recognize a special guest that we have here this evening, and that is Dr. Susan Laura. Dr. Laura, will you please stand? I've known Dr. Laura a long time. Dr. Laura is my mentor that I have here at the university. And in getting to know her, it's been a really wonderful professional privilege. Dr. Laura is a retired professor. But she loves us so much, she came back. And now she is working with grants, and she's working in special education as a half-time faculty member. And so we're very pleased that she, in her busy schedule, had time to join us here tonight. And thank you, like I said, for all of your support for the candidates as they have been coming through college. And thank you, candidates, for working so hard so you could be sitting here tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Christine Purkis as our installing officer. Dr. Purkis is a very busy person too. She is an associate professor of education at Angelo State University, where she teaches EC6 and 4 to 8 science methods classes, as well as an all-level human growth and development course online. Dr. Purkis graduated from McMurray College in Abilene, Texas, with a degree in geology. She later obtained her teaching certificate in life earth science grades 7 to 12, and then taught science for 10 years at the middle school level, and that deserves a big applause too, don't you think? She obtained her master's as well as her doctorate degrees in curriculum and instruction from Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas. Dr. Purkis has been a member of Kappa Delta Pi for over 25 years and is currently the Angelo State University Mu Gamma Chapter Counselor. In 2014, she was given the KDP 2013-2014 Regional Counselor Award for outstanding service to the Society and to the Mu Gamma Chapter. Welcome, Dr. Purkis.
Good evening. I used to actually be 5'8", but all those years in middle school, I'm now 5 feet. So I'm very happy to be here this evening. It's wonderful to see parents and loved ones. Thank you so much for lending your young people to this institution. They've probably been here 4 years or so, and I know that for those that are graduating, you're glad to see that graduation day coming, and for those that are working towards their degree, they're not far off, so don't worry. I bring greetings from Kappa Delta Pi International and also the Mu Gamma chapter at Angelo State University. We're very excited that we have another chapter in our vicinity that perhaps we can work with and do things with, so we're excited about that. Every induction ceremony is important, and I'm especially pleased to be asked to be part of this one, as it's not just induction, it's also a chartering ceremony too. I congratulate each of you on your academic achievement and also the choice of your profession. There's nothing like being a teacher. I've loved it. I was a second career teacher, and I couldn't wait to get in the classroom, and I love to go back into classrooms, and I love my work with pre-service teachers like yourselves. You hold a critically important place in the life of our nation, not just because of the skills you impart, though that in itself would be enough, but because you shape the future. You shape the future adults that are going to run this country, and so that's an important thing to remember. We set a tone for society in education, and probably every one of us has a teacher that you remember who made a difference in your life and maybe the reason why you're actually going to be a teacher. Mine was a history teacher, a high school history teacher, and even though I'm quite old, I still remember her name. It was Miss Story, and she could weave a story in history like I had never heard, and I thought, when I grow up, I want to be just like her. I'm maybe not there yet, but I'm trying. So, being a member of Kappa Delta Pi is an indication of your commitment to excellence and to your professional integrity. Kappa Delta Pi is ready to stand beside you and assist you throughout your career. As Dr. Hurst said, I'm a 25-year member. I didn't give up my membership after I graduated from McMurray. I chose to keep it because they support me in all kinds of professional development and all kinds of opportunities. And I'm a lifelong learner, like I know you are, and so they help me with that part of my professional life. Our members, believe it or not, span an age range from 20 years old to we have one member who had just turned 100 years old that lives in Ohio. And probably our most famed member is, for me, Albert Einstein, who is a laureate of Kappa Delta Pi. And so we have numerous very distinctive people within our realms. Hopefully your chapter, you'll be involved in the things that you do as a chapter, and as this group up here in leadership. Kappa Delta Pi gives you an opportunity to become a leader. There are all kinds of professional development programs, conferences, all kinds of things that you can be involved in. It's not just a line on a resume. It looks good, right? And I can tell you that teachers throughout the nation understand the importance of that line on your resume to say that you are Kappa Delta Pi member. It tells them about your academic skills and what you've achieved. There are also some really good publications that you'll get eventually. So now as I kind of end these little remarks on this wonderful day, and for you who are stepping up into the role of shapers of the future, we honor and congratulate you once again on your dedication and achievements. Please continue your good work even when you leave here today, and maintain your focus on excellence in your academics and obviously in your life. Kappa Delta Pi implies that you have integrity, and we pledge our integrity to Kappa Delta Pi today. It's one of the things that we're going to do. So at this time, we're going to begin the initiation of chapter members with our installation ceremony. Are we ready? There's lots of times in here where you're going to say, it's like getting married. You're going to say, I do and I am, right? And there's one part later on here where I'm going to ask you all members being initiated to stand and recite the pledge. Okay, so just be ready for that. So education is a vital societal force that encourages universal welfare and individual progress. Education is the cornerstone of democracy and the foundation of personal fulfillment. The purpose of Kappa Delta Pi, International Honor Society in Education, is to promote excellence in and recognize outstanding contributions to education. The Society endeavors to maintain a high degree of fellowship amongst its members, promote professional growth, and honor and achievements in educational work. To these ends, Kappa Delta Pi invites to members membership only those persons who exhibit commendable professional qualities, worthy educational ideals, and sound scholarship, without regard to race, age, culture, religion, gender, or disability. Your presence at this initiation ceremony indicates your desire to become a member of Kappa Delta Pi and to seek the bond of our common purpose, to promote excellence and recognize outstanding contributions in education. Honor societies conduct rituals, just like this one, and ceremonies to impress upon their members the ideals and duties to which they adhere. Members of Kappa Delta Pi have cherished the society's ideals and accepted the concepts of duty established when the organization was founded. Here comes the first I do, okay? As candidates for the privileges of membership to Kappa Delta Pi, do you desire to learn more about these ideals? If so, you will answer, I do. I do. Good deal. I present for your acceptance the ideals of this society. The first ideal is that of fidelity to humanity. This ideal implies faith in the potential of human beings and in the improvement of the human condition through education. Compassion in the contacts one has as an educator with humanity, and dedication to the concept that through continuous education based upon equal opportunity, persons of all ages, races, and creeds will find increased opportunity for experiencing more meaningful lives. All of this is implied in the ideal of fidelity to humanity. We light this candle to signify the fidelity to humanity. Do you accept this ideal of fidelity to humanity? If so, you will answer, I do. I do. The second is the ideal of science. This ideal implies that as an educator, one will be faithful to the cause of free inquiry and strive to eliminate prejudice and superstition by withholding judgment until accurate and adequate evidence is obtained. One will not distort evidence to support a favorite theory, not be blinded by the new or spectacular, nor condemn the old simply because it's old. All of this is implied in the ideal of science. We light this candle to signify the ideal of science. Do you accept this ideal of science? If so, you will answer, I do. I do. It's like getting married, isn't it? You know, right? We're nearly to the ring. Okay. Sorry, little humor there. I'll get my pose back on. The third ideal is that of service. This ideal is the very essence of education, which seeks advancement, not merely for self, but for society as well. The incentive of the great educators of the world has been their desire to serve humanity. Service in education implies living so that others are strengthened and inspired, and striving for the achievement of justice, peace, and a better way of life for all. All of this is implied in the ideal of science. We light this candle to signify the ideal of science. Excuse me, service. Thank you. Do you accept this ideal of service? If so, you will say, I do. I do. The final ideal is that of toil, the will to do the task that must be done, whether the task pleases one or not, and faith in the social necessity and intrinsic reward of the education profession. It implies working with such faith and zeal that others are won to the cause of education. If one life has been given greater freedom and nobler vision, toil has not been in vain. All of this is implied in the ideal of toil. We light this final candle to signify the ideal of toil. Do you accept this ideal of toil? If so, you will answer, I do. I do. Our society's emblem incorporates the scroll, the stylus, and the beehive, and the characters Kappa, Delta, Pi. Many of the treasures of antiquity, which form the foundation of modern education, rest upon scrolls of papyrus. The golden scroll, therefore, is the foundation of our emblem. The shaft running through the scroll is the stylus, the first instrument known to be used in making letters and figures. The beehive symbolizes toil. The characters, Kappa, Delta, Pi, represent our motto, knowledge, duty, power. Words expressing the entire meaning of our educational ideals. The purpose and ideals of Kappa Delta Pi are now known to you. Are you ready to take the obligation of membership in Kappa Delta Pi? If so, you will answer, I am.
I am.
Will all of those people being initiated this evening please stand? I'm going to ask you to repeat after me the obligation of the society. Ready? I promise to abide.
I promise to abide.
By the Constitution and bylaws of Kappa Delta Pi.
By the Constitution and bylaws of Kappa Delta Pi.
And to cooperate to expand the influences of its purpose and ideals.
The influences of its purpose and ideals.
Can be seated. I now declare you members of Kappa Delta Pi. Gives me chills. International Honor Society in Education, pledged to be faithful to the ideals and worthy to enter into the bonds of fellowship with its members. We greet you as colleagues in the quest for a full, knowledgeable, and useful life. We are united in a profession whose purpose and challenge is to inspire young and old to grow by using their heritage, to develop a concern for the needs of others, and to strengthen moral character and personality so that collectively, as members of Kappa Delta Pi, we may be worthy examples of a rich, wholesome life. To these purposes and challenges, in firm faith, we devote our lives. So to teach, that our words may inspire a will to learn. So to serve, that each day may enhance the growth of exploring minds. So to live, that we may guide young and old to know the truth and love the right. To the fulfillment of these objectives, we pledge our efforts and faith. It's my privilege and honor to congratulate you first and welcome you into Kappa Delta Pi. If Dr. Hernandez would like to come up, we're going to do certificates. As we call your name, we'd like you to come and be presented with your certificate, and then you're going to move down the line, sign the guest book, and receive our creed, which is for you to keep and sign, and also, I think, a pin. Ready? So, Miss Teresa Armendariz. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to move you down the line. Sorry. Miss Shannon Bedrick. Miss Karen Blanton. Miss Whitney Carter. Miss Christy Casas Williams. Miss LaDonna Chisholm. Miss Rocio de Villa, sorry. Miss Shanna Edwards. Dr. Jessica Garrett. Miss Arendani Gomez. Behind you. Miss Brandy Grismore. Excuse me, I've given you a degree already. Miss Ashley Hearn. I'm sorry. Miss Melissa Hernandez. Miss Melissa Haranema. Miss Caitlin Hicks. No? Okay. We'll move on. It's not here. Not here? Okay. Then we'll move on. Miss Emily Westron. Dr. Janine Hurst. Dr. Roy Hurst. Miss Maria Lopez. Miss Marlene Lopez. Miss Cecilia Lozano. Mr. Devorian Marion. Miss Lizette Martinez. Miss Abigail Now. Miss Amy Oberman. Miss Sylvia Olives. Miss Flor Paradis. Miss Christina Perez. Miss Bianca Porras. Miss Maria Verrera. Miss Lindsay Roach. Miss Samantha Robledo. Miss Jasmine Rodriguez. Miss Haley Scoggins. Miss Lorraine Spickerman. Miss Carol Staggs. Miss Marissa Steele. Miss Laura Stewart. Miss Alondra Suarez. Mr. Thomas Tillman. Miss Gentry Townsend. Miss Summer Trevino. Miss Esther Vasquez. And Miss, oops, sorry. And last, but by no means least, Miss Noelle Vasquez. Dr. Hurst and Dr. Hernandez will now present cords to graduating seniors.
Ready? Okay, we do have a few of these folks who are graduating 1 week from today. Begin with Ms. Maria Lopez. And of course, we are expecting to see these worn at graduation. Ms. Marlene Lopez. Mrs. Celia Lozano. Mr. Devorian Marion. Ms. Samantha Robledo. Oops. My alphabet's backwards. Ms. Mireya Rivera. That's it.
Give another hand to these people that are graduating. So now we would like to, this is a brand new chapter, as many of you know, so we are now going to move on to installing the chapter. We have some more I-do's. Now that you are members, some more I-do's here. So members of Kappa Delta Pi, you have expressed your desire to pledge fidelity to the ideals of Kappa Delta Pi, International Honor Society, and education. An even greater responsibility, however, is being assigned to you, a new chapter of the society. The Executive Council of Kappa Delta Pi, who I am representing today, has found you worthy of being entrusted with the welfare and promulgation of the purpose of the ideals of this society. We believe that you are deserving of this trust and responsibility. Prior to the installation of this chapter, however, we ask that you confirm your obligations. Do you affirm your adherence to the purpose of Kappa Delta Pi and to the ideals of fidelity to humanity, science, service, and toil? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do.
Do you promise to maintain the honor and dignity of our society? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do.
Do you promise to observe the requirements of the Constitution and bylaws and the regulations established by the Executive Council of this society? And do you also promise to uphold the society's standards for membership? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do.
Then I declare to you, your associates, and your successors that the Alpha Theta Eta chapter of Kappa Delta Pi exists and will have succession as such forever. To remain an active Kappa Delta Pi chapter in good standing, you must conduct 2 meetings per year, hold 1 initiation ceremony per year, submit all required reports, and observe the Kappa Delta Pi Constitution and bylaws. You now have the rights, duties, and privileges of Kappa Delta Pi. I would like to ask Dr. Hernandez to step forward to accept the charter. In confirmation of these privileges and responsibilities, which are now yours, and by virtue the authority vested in me by the Executive Council of Kappa Delta Pi, I present this charter to Dr. Frank Hernandez and thus signify the installation of Alpha Theta Eta chapter. Congratulations. We're now going to do the last piece of our ceremony, and that's the installation of the chapter officers. Would you please stand? The Alpha Theta Eta chapter of Kappa Delta Pi International Honor Society in Education has found you worthy of confidence and of receiving the honor of leadership and trusteeship. True to the ideals of toil, you have been called to labor with even greater energy for the growth of this chapter and for Kappa Delta Pi. Your fidelity, industry, and judgment will be critical in broadening the influences of Kappa Delta Pi. Your zeal will increase our cooperation and the cooperation of your fellow members. Your vision will make brighter the goal of our united efforts. As our representatives, you are exemplars of Alpha Theta Eta chapter. Do you accept the position as an officer of the Alpha Theta Eta chapter of Kappa Delta Pi? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do.
Do you promise to observe the Constitution and bylaws of Kappa Delta Pi and the bylaws of Alpha Theta Eta chapter? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do.
Do you accept these members? I got some more yet. Hang on a minute. Do you accept these members of the Alpha Theta Eta chapter as your officers for the coming year? And do you pledge your cooperation in increasing the influence of Kappa Delta Pi? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do.
Great. I now have the honor of declaring Mireya Rivera President. Samantha Robledo, Vice President. Erin Denny Gomez, Secretary, Co-Historian. Alondra Suarez, Treasurer. And Haley Scoggins, Co-Historian and Chief of Executive Membership Recruitment. You may sit. Thank you. You are now the officers of Alpha Theta Eta chapter. The members pledge their confidence in and support of you as you guide this chapter in the fulfillment of its purpose. Congratulations. And yeah. The officers of the Mu Gamma chapter at Angelo State sent you a little present, and so we hope that you'll use it in future initiations. So that's from our officers to you. I would also, thank you. I would also like to present some certificates to our incoming counselors. So if you guys would like to stand up a minute, that would be really nice. Kappa Delta Pi recognizes Dr. Janine Hurst for outstanding service and dedication as counselor for Kappa Delta Pi. We also recognize Dr. Roy Hurst for outstanding leadership and support of Kappa Delta Pi as a counselor. And Kappa Delta Pi recognizes Mrs. Lorraine Speakerman for her outstanding service as counselor to Kappa Delta Pi. You can be seated. Thank you very much. I'd now like to ask Dr. Hernandez to come to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. This means a lot to us in the College of Education, and it especially means a lot to the students that are here being inducted into Kappa Delta Pi. I first want to say thank you to everyone who had a part in organizing this beautiful event, and to those that have worked on getting Kappa Delta Pi off the ground. For example, Dr. Roy Hurst, Dr. Janine Hurst, Dr. Lindsay Balderas, Professor Spickerman, and thank you, Dr. Perkis, for being here with us today. The students who were involved today, thank you, especially to the officers, all of them to my left, for taking on the leadership for getting this Education Honor Society started. I observed the hours and hours that all of them put in sitting on the third floor Mesa building lobby, talking with students about Kappa Delta Pi and getting them interested in joining the organization. Those efforts did not go unnoticed. Thank you so much for your time and energy. All of these, yes, thank you. All of these individuals, those present and those that assisted in getting this chapter going at UTPB, and all of our other students would make the founding members of Kappa Delta Pi proud. Here in the College of Education at UTPB, we participate in generating scholarship. Our professors and our students are innovative and creative, and our students and their faculty represent excellence. If you have ever doubted that, just take a look at the students and the faculty that we have here this evening. Take, for example, in terms of our scholarship for our faculty members, in the last 4 years, since 2012, which represents when I came on board as dean, the faculty in the College of Education have published 5 books, approximately 40 journal articles and book chapters, and have attended numerous conferences, too many to list here today with you. Our students have created innovative and creative lesson plans that embed AVID strategies and other research-based instructional practices. This semester alone, in the class that I taught, I had students who wrote poetry that represented their struggles and the way in which those struggles will help them connect with their own K-12 students. For some of these students, it was their first time that they had ever written such personal stories about themselves. I had a student who wants to teach physical education, and for her final project, provided us with a lesson where cooperation was needed in order to complete the task at hand. That was impressive because she understood the importance of getting students to understand that teamwork was critical for their success. Finally, I had another student who explained how a teacher could use the Mayan pyramids to teach math concepts to her students and reinforce that the gift of math was in her students' DNA. Remember to always keep in mind that Kappa Delta Pi's vision is to encourage quality learning by giving all of you the means to implement research-based strategies, continue professional growth, assume leadership, and become master teachers. And Kappa Delta Pi achieves these goals of quality learning by doing the following. They provide teacher education programs with professional resources and sustained support for retaining effective educators in all classrooms. This means that you must always find ways to continue to improve your practice as a teacher. You must know the most up-to-date research regarding teaching, whether it's related to personalized learning or building a classroom community, for example. Allow Kappa Delta Pi to help you with keeping you connected to what the most effective teachers do. The second way that Kappa Delta Pi meets his vision is by developing teacher leaders to be change agents and empowering them to advocate for the best interests of their students and the teaching profession. This statement to me means that you must be willing to take risks. If it means better working conditions for you as a teacher or better instructional materials for your students, you must advocate for the profession and for the learning of your students. The third way Kappa Delta Pi meets this vision is advancing instruction that ensures students are globally aware, socially responsible, resilient, and able to solve problems in a just and equitable way. This statement to me implies that you must create mirrors and windows for your students. The windows provide students an opportunity to be aware of what's happening in their neighborhoods, communities, states, nationally, and globally. Mirrors provide opportunities for students to see themselves in their own learning. Whether it's in the curriculum, whether it's in the books that you and your students read, they must see themselves in their classroom. Finally, as teachers, we must also balance high achievement with critical consciousness. That is, we must ourselves be critical thinkers and also teach our students to be critical thinkers as well, so that when they solve personal, community, state, national, or global problems, they will do it in a way that is just and equitable for all. I wish all of you the very best, and I know that you will all work to transform the lives of the students that you teach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez, for your inspiring words. We would like to honor you with a gift membership in Alpha Theta Eta. That was quick. Okay. I would also like to thank and welcome everyone who came this evening. As a group, we have looked forward to the many events we will embark on. I don't think our counselors, the officers, or I can put into words the amount of effort and hard work that occurred to bring Kappa Delta Pi to UTPB. I am honored to say that this group will set the standards for the Honor Society and for future students at UTPB. All of this was made possible because of the generosity of Dr. Frank Hernandez, along with the support of our faculty counselors, Dr. Roy Hurst, Dr. Janine Hurst, Mrs. Lorraine Spickerman, and Dr. Lindsay Valderas. A special thanks to Dr. Christine Perkis for traveling from Angelo State University to serve as our installing officer. I would also like to thank Dr. Susan Lara for her advice and support. Also, a big thank you to Mrs. Berta Suarez for help with the table coverings and to Mrs. Elba for arranging the centerpieces. A big thank you to our UTPB orchestra members for volunteering their time and talent to provide the wonderful music this evening. We also thank Courtney Johnson for taking additional pictures this evening, and thanks to our videographer, Vital Justice. A special thanks to Dino from the physical plant for setting up the room, We appreciate everyone for making this event possible. At this time, I would like to announce our next event. We will be hosting a book drive to support the Boys and Girls Club of the Permian Basin. The book drive will begin May 9th and run until May 27th. The books will be delivered on May 28th. Donations can be dropped off in the certification office on the 3rd floor of this building in room 3215. Members of the Alpha Theta Eta, please note there's a registration form that has to be signed before you leave this evening. It is located by the exit door to this room. A faculty counselor will assist you. Again, thank you all for coming. We invite you to join us for refreshments that are located in the back of the room. Please help yourselves and have a good night.